So far in some of my videos, I talk about the importance of being funny and being fun. And one way you can do that is get really good at telling stories. Right here, we have a story of Macaiyla, Tyler One's girlfriend, and the first time she had a particular experience.
I like where he's like fully on top of me, like, and then
Wait, are you on your stomach or on your back?
I'm on my stomach, and
Okay,
then
that's what I
so
thought.
this is me on my stomach, and then this is him, and then instead of like doggy where it's like he can kind of see, he's like on me, like, and there's no way for him to like know that it's gonna go.
You might be able to tell what the story's about. You might be able to read the words at the bottom there. Macaiyla's hilarious.
So it legit just went from in to whoop, or and then like I cried. Like, it was so embarrassing for me because I just cried so hard.
What is it embarrassing for you?
like,
What the fuck?
I was just so embarrassed that like I figured if I tried anal, I could fucking take it. Like, I was like, we were gonna try this one day or something. I don't know. I was like it
That's
can't be that bad. Like, there's no way. And then that shit.
And here we now have a story time with Paulzego.
Story time with Paul.
It's been a while since I've heard that intro. This one, I don't even know how to tell this story yet, to be honest with you, because it just happened.
Yes.
So it's not a story that I've fine-tuned, but I think it's a story that just benefits from telling it how I perceived it. So
this is a re-upload of an old podcast. I mean, the podcast is still around, but it has different hosts and totally different vibe.
Since I started coming down to Columbus, the guys have been trying to get me to a Waffle House. And I was like, at first I was like, I've been to a Denny's. I know what a little greasy spoon diner is like. They're like, no, you have to have this experience. You have to experience the ambiance of a Waffle House. And so after the last show on Monday, it's late at night, we all decided to head over and get some Waffle House at like 1 a.m. or midnight or whatever it was. And I didn't know what to expect. TJ had they'd laid it on pretty thick, and I was like, it's probably just going to be a general fucking place. I was actually actively trying to downplay it in my mind. And so we walk in.
Now, I haven't never been to a Waffle House, but they're open like super late, or I think some are open all night. So things get pretty wild in these places. I'd love to go. They sound incredible. There's a video of the Ninja. I think it was like the Waffle House Ninja, or it might have been an IHOP Ninja, where a patron throws a chair at one of the employees, and they spin that thing like crazy. I might pull it up.
And the first thing I notice, and that everybody notices, is that every fucking table in the joint is just heaped with trash. Like 3 or 4 fucking groups of guests had eaten at these fucking tables and just like shoved their garbage over into the corner. Like, not a single table in the place was bust. There are 2 people working, 1 person on the grill and 1 waitress. There are several people sitting in the restaurant, either eating or ordering. And we there's 5 of us. We happened to find like the bar, like right in front of where they cook and take your order and shit. That was clean enough for us to sit. So we do. And it's a long fucking time before we're even acknowledged, like, as human beings. Like, I was just kind of watching the waitress, and she's buzzing around doing things, but nothing seems to be getting any better. Like, all the busy work that she's doing is just exacerbating the problems. Finally, she gets over to us. She's flustered. You can tell it's been a busy night. They got a rush or whatever. And she takes our orders. And Scotty ordered steak.
Oh yeah, we've all been to a place that's understaffed, especially like a kitchen or whatever, where it's just, you can just feel you can see how stressed out the employees are and how understaffed and how brutal it is.
Steak and eggs which I thought, like, looking at the line of people that hadn't been served yet and the fucking huge mess of dishes and shit back there, I was like, man, that's the last thing to come out. But like a minute and a half after we ordered, boom, Scotty's got his fucking steak and eggs. Nobody else has anything. But the hardest thing to cook apparently was the quickest thing to come out this night. So while we're sitting there, two other dudes walk in, they sit down. The woman's attending to us, but she does it like piecemeal. It's like she comes over, like there's usually a flow to waitressing. Like you come over, you take an order, you go back, you get drinks, you bring them out, then you bring the food. That was all out the fucking window because she had a billion things to do. She needed to bus tables, she needed to fucking wait on people. And so we got waited on, and then who knows how long it's gonna be till we get our fucking food.
This is why people, why tipping is such a hot topic, whether tipping should even exist. It's because you see these people and they're just working like crazy, doing like 3 different jobs at once, and you feel like, man, these people are working hard, they need to be tipped. But at the same time, I think tipping's a horrible practice that should be stopped.
So we're sitting there, and and TJ looks over at me. I kind of look over at him, and he gives me this grin like, yeah, you see what I'm talking about? And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty bad. I mean, it's not out of the question. Like, I've been in places that are busy before, but this is shaping up to be memorable, Little did I know that the shit had not even come close to hitting the fan yet. So these other two dudes that are sitting over there that came in after us, basically at some point just give up, because the woman, no matter what she does, she cannot find time to go and wait on them. Also, we noticed at this point that she's arguing a little bit with the cook. Like they're getting in these like heated little spats of like, he's like, run it by me again. She's like, I wrote it all on the plates. It's all right there in front of you. You can't read the plates. And he's like, just run it through. So I'm like, oh, okay. I had come to believe that like it was the customers at a Waffle House that I should keep my eye on, but apparently like tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I don't know if they serve drinks at these places, but they're open at like 3 a.m. So you can imagine the people rolling in there are gonna be chaotic. I've been to this one McDonald's in this big city nearby where it is just absolute chaos if you go there at night. Like it's a whole like different vibe. It's almost like dangerous.
Night, not so. So we're sitting there, and that argument is going on. I'm watching this waitress get more and more fucking exasperated. And TJ at some point looks over at me and said, didn't we order drinks? Oh, no. Anyway, our food starts to come out. That's first. She starts bringing our food. And one by one, we all kind of get served, and we're eating. And that's when TJ goes, didn't we order drinks? And I was like, yeah, we did, but she hasn't gotten around to it yet. And TJ goes, fuck that, and just stands up. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? TJ walks up and behind the bar where customers are not supposed to go, grabs a fucking cup, grabs the ice thing, scoops some ice, and fucking pours himself a soda. In the midst of this, the waitress goes, oh yeah, sir, go ahead, do what you gotta do, I'm so sorry. And the cook walks over, and he's like, sir, you can't do that. You cannot do that. And TJ literally goes, fuck you, I ordered drinks like a fucking hour ago, I'm thirsty. And goes and sits down with his drink.
I would totally do the same. I mean, I've worked at a fast food place, and like, yeah, I would have no problem doing that, especially if you've been waiting like an hour. I'm sure they're kind of exaggerating, but like, I mean, it's definitely reasonable to do. If you're just not getting stuff and you're going to pay for it, there's no harm there.
That, I think, was the catalyst for what happened next.
Another weird McDonald's story. One time I went to McDonald's with a group of people, and my cousin asked for a free water, and they give you a cup, but they got the machine off to the side. So he goes, and with the free cup for the water, he's filling up with Dr. Pepper, but he like pushed the thing in too far, and it got stuck. So it's blasting out all this Dr. Pepper, and he wants to fix it. He puts his hand in there, and he's trying to like pull this thing out so it stops blasting out Dr. Pepper. the cashier looks overseas and he's like, "You said you were getting a water." It was so funny. Oh man, busted.
Because the fucking two people working there had a meltdown of epic proportions, like right in front of us. The woman would say something pretty reasonable to the dude, and then he would be like, "Shut the fuck up! Keep your fucking voice down, man! People listening!" And it's only him that's saying anything that's out of order. You know what I mean? Shut the fuck up! Shut your fucking mouth! Keep your fucking mouth shut! You know, and it's just openly audible to us sitting here. At some point, the waitress comes over and gives me and Chelsea, who are sitting kind of on the end, and I guess by proxy, everybody else, a sob story about how it's the cook's fault. She's like, "Man, it's just him. I give him the orders and he doesn't know how to do it. And he's incompetent. I'm really trying. I really don't, we're having a hard time." And we're like, "It's okay. It's cool." And at some point there were tears. I mean, she broke down into fucking complete, like, absolute tears. And she just openly crying while she's serving us, like she's bringing silverware or bringing extra napkins or something. I've never.
That would be awesome. Like, I mean, I feel bad for the person, but like, wow, that would be incredibly bizarre. I've never seen people at a restaurant be that stressed out to that level.
Never had a waitress openly sob serving me. She's just like, "Here's a plate. Oh, here's your biscuit. Oh, I hope that's okay. Is that okay? Okay, you're okay. And I'm just like, fuck. This is the most gut-wrenching experience I've ever had in an establishment. Like, up until this point in my life, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Then, at some point, she excuses herself. She's like, "Everybody's got what they need. I'm gonna step outside for a few minutes, guys, and just take a quick breather." And we're like, "Yeah, go. Okay, it's cool. Go ahead and do it." And when she did that, then the cook comes over to us. So now we're going to get both sides of the fucking story. The cook goes, "Man, I'm real sorry, guys. She's got something going on with a baby, something going on outside of work, and she's just crazy tonight, man. I don't understand what's going on. I don't get it." And we're like, "Yeah, it's cool." Trying to figure out how to walk this fucking balance beam between these two extreme positions without causing more fucking ruckus. She comes back in at some point. We're ready to leave. We all stand up.
I wonder if they have like good waffles. Like, apparently a lot of people go to these places late at night, so the food must be good.
And for the first time in my life, I got rung up by somebody who was openly weeping, which I've never, like she's like, "Okay, yours is 1119. Okay, can I see your ID? Thank you." Okay. I mean, the guys will back me up on this if they unmute themselves. Like, I'm not exaggerating this.
It's 100% true.
You forgot to mention that the cook tried to bribe us with free food if we didn't call management about what we saw there.
"You ain't gonna tell no one about this, right? I'll hook you guys up with anything you want for free."
Yep, that's what he said.
And then he gave us, and then he ended up giving us like a plate that he made earlier that was like fucked up, like it was not the right order. So he's just like, "You guys have this free plate," and then we're all like, "Shit, yeah." And Paul's like, "Give me them hash browns and shit."
He did give us free food so that we wouldn't call the management, but nobody at that bench was calling the management because the way this unfolded was just too fucking perfect. And at some point I looked over at TJ and I was like, "So is this standard?" And TJ was like, No, this isn't even standard for a Waffle House. This is way beyond. Your first time at a Waffle House is the craziest one I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, me too.
And so we left an empty Waffle House behind. By the time we left, there was nobody else left in the place except for the two people working there. Covered in
dudes
garbage.
you mentioned earlier left without even getting
the
their
two
order
people
taken.
that came in. Yeah, they never even got seen by the waitress, as far as I know.
I mean, I've had that. I've had it where I'm at a restaurant with somebody and we're just waiting. I think like 45 minutes is the most I've ever waited, and it's like, all right, we're leaving because like 45 minutes has gone by and no one's even come to the table. And sometimes it is at places where it's not even like loaded up with people. It's like, I see you serving other tables. It's unfortunate. Places need to like employ the right amount of people.
They just kind of just gave up at some point and walked out, and we left that place with like a sobbing waitress, a pissed off cook, and covered like waist deep in garbage. I cannot think. I was telling TJ, you know, I've had all of those things at some point happen to me during a dining experience, you know, like I've been to places where it's really busy and they haven't had time to bust the tables. And I've been to places where somebody on the staff clearly isn't getting along with somebody else. And I've seen people break down into tears momentarily, but never all at once. Like the confluence of shit that happened that night was so far beyond any expectation that I had.
And it was surreal to pay your check to like a crying woman too.
Yeah, I mean it was just like, we all tipped her well, because how do you not tip somebody well that's weeping? You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's kind of hard not to at that point. It's kind of hard not to.
I don't, but this clearly was not planned. She wasn't like weeping to get tips out of us. She was weeping because it was the worst day of her fucking life. So I got to witness like probably the worst day of her life and that cook's life. And I got to, and to top it all off, the cherry on top is, you would expect in an environment like that where there's acrimony and crying and waist deep garbage that the food that you get would be soggy and shit. It was delicious. I ate every scrap of everything that I was served, and it was like really good. I mean, it wasn't like blow my head off, the best thing I've ever eaten, but fuck, man.
So yeah, that's Paulzego, formerly of the Drunken Peasants podcast, now of the Deep Fat Fried podcast. If you want to see more of his stories, check him out. Just type into the search bar Paul IKEA or Paul plays wrestling or Paul plays Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it might show up some other people, but his name's Paulzego. He's really great at telling stories. There's some great stuff in there. I pulled up this video of this Waffle House employee. It's pay close attention because this is just shockingly like a lot of brawls must break out at these places. So they throw a chair in the, like how do you like think of how crazy that is? Just a chair, just a metal chair just flying through the air. Look at that thing. Look how shiny that chair is. Now maybe it's wood and it's painted like metallic, but that looks like a pretty heavy chair. I mean, it does look kind of light, to be fair, not that heavy, but it's just flying at you. Just somebody just fires a chair at you and you do this. You perfectly deflect it. That's crazy. You gotta have a lot of experience with that. Like, how's that? That's so ridiculous. And it's totally real. Some like brawl broke out between the I forget exactly what even happens, but it's basically just a full-out brawl between the employees and a group of people, and a chair ends up getting thrown, among a lot of other stuff. And I mean, I forget if it ends with the chair. Because I mean, if you're on the customer side of this brawl and you see that, it's time to go. It's time to go. Like you're no match for it. You're no match for these employees. This isn't their first rodeo. Look at that. She's like, bring it. Like she literally. Oh my god. Look at that. Oh my god. Just fantastic stuff. I gotta check out one of these Waffle Houses. This is... Well, hope you liked the video. Hope you have a nice day.